Thank you, Africa. Mama Africa.
Oh, yeah.
You make Africa great.
Thank you, freedom.
Thank you, Africa.
In a world of suits, silence, and diplomacy, one man stands out with quiet defiance and raw symbolism. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, just turned heads in Russia, not with words, but with presence. And yes, it's the pistol on his waist that stole the show. From viral fame to geopolitical symbolism, was it security, a statement, or something deeper? Welcome to Channel Name, where we unpack the moments that matter. Let's dive into the story behind the most talked about belt holster in global politics. One of the most striking moments during Traore's visit was his first diplomatic meeting. Not with a Western power or Russian oligarch, but with President Nicolás Maduro of Venezuela. The symbolism was powerful. Two nations under sanctions, two leaders demonized by Western media, standing together in solidarity. Maduro, who greeted Traore warmly, later told reporters he was very happy to meet President Traore. That phrase, simple on the surface, carried deep diplomatic weight. It marked a new chapter in South-South alliances, the building of a new axis of independence, from Latin America to West Africa. Russia, too, responded with a mix of respect and intrigue. Kremlin insiders noted how quickly Traore became a crowd favorite, not for theatrics, but for authenticity. Russian media praised his discipline, his lack of entourage, and his focus on direct diplomacy. This wasn't just an African leader visiting Moscow. This was a shift in global perception, where Africa was not a beggar at the table, but a guest of honor. On May 8, 2025, amidst the snow-dusted streets of Moscow, world leaders gathered to commemorate the 80th anniversary of Russia's victory over Nazism. But amid the sea of familiar faces, one man stood out: Captain Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso. Clad in military attire with a pistol visibly holstered at his waist, he arrived not as a mere participant, but as a symbol of something far greater: a new Africa. Confident, unafraid, and sovereign. The pistol wasn't just a weapon, it was a symbol. A reminder of Burkina Faso's resilience, of its resistance against neo-colonialism, and of Traore's own story as a revolutionary leader who rose from the barracks to the presidency. His presence captivated the Russian media and stunned many Western diplomats unused to such unapologetic displays of power from African leaders. It wasn't just Moscow that took notice. Across social media, videos of Traore's entry trended globally. Young Africans shared memes, tributes, and proud statements. Here was a man representing more than politics. He was a movement, an image of black strength not defined by compromise, but by clarity and courage. This singular moment in Moscow was more than ceremonial. It was historical. It signaled Africa's rising confidence on the global stage and reintroduced to the world a continent not in need of saving, but of recognition. Symbols matter, especially in geopolitics. Traore's pistol wasn't just a nod to his military roots. It was a silent declaration: Africa will no longer kneel. Where Western leaders often dress diplomacy in suits and polished speeches, Traore made a statement without uttering a word. The pistol, worn openly at an international event, served as a quiet but thunderous defiance of diplomatic convention. It reminded onlookers that this was a man forged in conflict, not detached from it. For many Africans watching, it wasn't a threat. It was a sign of dignity, of strength, of readiness. Critics were quick to call it theatrical. But to the masses, especially youth from Accra to Nairobi, it was a revolution in imagery. A reminder that leadership doesn't mean submission. It means presence. It means power. In a world where African leaders are too often disrespected or ignored, Traore's pistol was a demand: see me, and see my people. Captain Traore's rise is inseparable from a larger wave sweeping across Africa, the rebirth of Pan-Africanism. No longer limited to conferences and intellectual circles, Pan-Africanism today is a street-level energy, driven by youth tired of foreign dominance and hungry for self-determination. In countries like Mali, Guinea, and Niger, we see the same sentiment. a rejection of imperialist remnants, a call for unity, and a thirst for justice. Traore has become a focal point of that energy, not by claiming to be its leader, but by embodying its values. He speaks to the continent's pain and potential. He refuses to play by the script written by others. And in doing so, he gives voice to millions who for too long felt unheard. This is why Traore's image resonates so deeply. Because it's not just about Burkina Faso, it's about all of us, an Africa rising with pride and power. Social media has been a game changer in the rise of Traore's influence. TikTok clips of his speeches, Twitter threads analyzing his policies, and viral photos from his Moscow visit have cemented his status as a hero of Gen Z Africa. In a continent where over 60% of the population is under 25, this is no small detail. Young people are no longer waiting for change, they are demanding it. And in Captain Traore, they see someone who listens, who relates, and who acts. Unlike many older politicians, Traore doesn't hide behind bureaucrats or scripted PR. He speaks plainly. He shows up. He gets his hands dirty. That authenticity, combined with his military background and youthful energy, makes him the perfect storm for a new kind of African leadership. This digital love isn't just fandom. It's the building of a movement, one meme, one tweet, and one bold appearance at a time. While many in Africa and the global south cheer for Traore, not everyone is applauding. Western governments, long used to pliable leaders, are watching nervously. A young, defiant African president with revolutionary ideals and international influence? That doesn't fit the model. There have already been subtle diplomatic pressures, negative media narratives, and economic whispers aimed at discrediting Traore. But what these forces don't understand is that the old playbook no longer works. This generation sees through the noise. The fear isn't just about Traore, it's about the wave he represents. A wave that challenges the legitimacy of debt traps, unfair trade, and military bases. A wave that says, Africa will no longer be anyone's pawn. As Traore continues to gain ground, the question is no longer, can he succeed? It's, how far can this movement go? Captain Ibrahim Traore is not a savior. He is not a perfect man. But he is a reflection of what Africa is becoming. Bold, unafraid, and deeply rooted in truth. His journey from soldier to statesman is a reminder that leadership doesn't require foreign validation. It requires vision. To every young African watching, this story is yours too. Whether you're in Lagos, Kinshasa, Dakar, or Addis Ababa, Traore's rise is proof that you matter. Your voice matters, and your future is in your hands. Africa is not behind. Africa is not broken. Africa is waking up. And in leaders like Captain Traore, we see the dawn of a new era, one that doesn't apologize for its past, but builds powerfully toward its future. This isn't just about one man in Moscow. This is about a continent, rising at last. Leadership is often misunderstood. In many places, it's reduced to hierarchy, ego, or control. But in Traore, we see something rare. A leader who lives what he preaches. His humility, public visibility, and unapologetic patriotism are reshaping how the world defines true authority. He doesn't hide behind luxury. He doesn't read from scripts. He speaks plainly, listens carefully, and stands firmly. His authenticity has made him a case study in modern leadership, especially in a world fatigued by elite corruption and political theater. From corporate boardrooms in Johannesburg to political youth camps in Addis Ababa, Traore is now being studied as a model for transformative service-based leadership. What does he teach us? That power is not control, it is responsibility. That courage is not ego, it is service to the people. And that true leadership begins where fear ends. As we move into a future defined by climate crises, tech revolutions, and shifting alliances, Traore's emergence reminds us that the most powerful leaders will not be the ones who dominate, but those who stand for something greater than themselves. In the heart of Burkina Faso's revolutionary spirit lies a name engraved in African memory: Thomas Sankara, the father of integrity-driven Pan-Africanism. Often called Africa's Che Guevara, Sankara inspired generations with his defiant policies, pro-people governance, and unshakable courage in the face of imperialism. He was assassinated in 1987, his ideas buried but never forgotten. Captain Ibrahim Traore walks in Sankara's footsteps, not by imitation, but through principled alignment. Like Sankara, Traore refuses the luxury of foreign dependence. He echoes the call for food sovereignty, economic liberation, and youth empowerment. His decision to kick out exploitative mining companies, just as Sankara nationalized land and resources, shows continuity in the fight for African dignity. But what makes Traore's story even more impactful is that it emerges in a very different Africa, one shaped by social media, digital mobilization, and mass youth unemployment. Where Sankara fought with speeches and marches, Traore inspires through viral moments and grassroots momentum. By evoking Sankara's spirit while operating in a modern, digital age, Traore doesn't just revive a legacy, he reignites a revolution, proving that Africa's dream of liberation is not a relic of the past, but a mission for the present. As leaders like Traore gain momentum, Africa faces a defining crossroads. Will this era of bold leadership inspire continental unity, or will it be isolated by global power brokers? The dream of Pan-African unity, envisioned by Nkrumah, Mandela, and Gaddafi, has often been weakened by internal division and external manipulation. Traore's popularity offers a new opportunity to build a connected network of African states that prioritize sovereignty, collaboration, and innovation. Alliances with Mali, Guinea, and Niger are early signs of this regional awakening. But the challenge now is scaling that spirit across all of Africa. Critics argue that isolation from the West will harm trade and security. But Traore and his allies propose self-reliance, not seclusion. Their message is clear. We will engage with the world, but on our terms. This represents a mindset shift, from begging for partnerships to setting the table ourselves. If African nations choose unity over competition, cooperation over colonial leftovers, then this movement will not be a moment. It will be a continent-wide transformation. Traore's example is a call to unity. The choice now lies with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Africa.